Hey, what is up, gang? It is Adam. It is kind of a last minute thing here, so got a couple things we're gonna do tonight. Actually, let me get my drawing stuff. Oh no, it's over here. Drawing for Stump the Smith Savant. I got to do that tonight. As you know, I've been kind of changing things up with proxies. I've been making those on my own time at this point. Might go over the proxies once I finish them and kind of show them off that way. But the whole process of doing those, I can do it a much better job and quicker job when I'm doing it by myself, my own time, because I can do it when I'm watching stuff with my wife and all that. So Sundays are going to be, if I have time, sometimes I'll fit those in. But I have a lot of decks I want to build, and so I'm going to try to utilize that time to do that. So that is what I'm working on tonight. This isn't going to be your normal part one of searching for the spotlight. This is more of I'm putting this together. So any tips, if you're watching this later, message in the comments some tips of how you would build this deck. I'm just going to go through and show you what I've done in the last week of things that I've pulled up and what I am thinking about this deck and how I think it's going to work out. I'm excited about this one because it's going to be kind of fits in my wheelhouse of a commander. So I am more of a commander player that likes to sit back and do damage and kill everybody all at once, or not having to necessarily attack. But then also I have that part of me where I do like the Voltron stuff. So Akiri, for example, a red-green, exactly, Renshai. But Akiri is one of my favorites because it is a Voltron style deck. So this has a best of both worlds in that you're casting spells, doing damage to everybody, while at the same time Blanka gets bigger, and then you can kill somebody one swing or two swings with Blanka getting big. So there's a couple routes I want to kind of go over here. Like I said, this is only gonna be like about half hour, 45 minutes. I know red is it's such a bad color, but it's every deck that I make. Whatever, lay off of me. I'm starving. This is love red. But okay, you guys are douches. Okay, so there's two routes I was thinking about. So there's the obvious, like, because it's whenever it becomes the target of a spell. That doesn't mean you need to do instants and sorceries. You can do auras. Like, you can have things that come into play and you're attaching it to your creatures. So that as a spell. And if you guys remember, one of my other red-green decks, like Ted and Renshai are saying here, the Kaima deck is that. Now, Kaima, I wouldn't say I'm disappointed with it, but I kind of am a little bit. It doesn't do it's won a couple times, I think 2 times at most, but it just doesn't have that it factor. It's more of waiting for everybody else to play stuff. And then, I don't know. It's a hard one to win. So this is going to take that aura part of that. And so what I think I'm going to do is there's some of those auras that were red and green that instead of putting on other people's stuff, which is the point of Kaima, is I'm going to put it on Blanka, and it should help in that way. So my beginning thoughts of this deck, again, I will take any suggestions. So if you guys have suggestions, I definitely will search those up because this is my brainstorming thing. But like I said, about a half an hour to 45 minutes of working on this today. That's what I'm doing tonight, I should say. I've gathered all this over the last week of the cards I have here. Some of this stuff I'll skip through really quick because, like, ramp, I don't really want to go through that because you guys know what that stuff is. Tybalt's Trickery. I do not have Tybalt's Trickery at this point in here. Or do I? I might. Let's see. Instance. No, I don't have Tybalt's. But that could be something to add later. Right now what I was doing was gathering the things that fit with what I want to do. And then the ramp is, as you can see, everything else is untagged. Ramp was my first start of starting to tag my stuff of where, like, my packages. Remember my, this little guy, the blueprint stuff. Oh, you can see it actually right there. Sorry. Off to the left, right over yonder here. It disappears because there's a little icon thing there. So I'm starting to organize it a little bit. And then I just decided, well, screw it. Let's just go through this right now. And if there's some more suggestions, I will add those in here. So, All right, so let's get going on this. My first thoughts is I would probably play a 50-50 in that I'd have 50% instants and sorceries and 50% auras in this deck is kind of my thought on that. So we'll see how we go here. I don't want to hang my hat on one, but I think I'm not going to play any Swiftfoot Boots or Lightning Greaves because I'm going to try to take advantage of that with the instants and not sorceries, but the instant spells. So let's move forward. Let's look at all this. So we're skipping all this. Sensei's is just a card I like to add in every deck. So that's there. So let's get into some of the other things that kind of go hand in hand with this. So this guy's pretty cool because whenever you cast a non-creature spell, so everything that I'm going to be casting with the instants and sorceries and the auras are non-creature, you can go to creature. So this has to go on my other deck as well, my Kaima deck. So that's going in there. Electrostatic Field. So we're doing similar things with instants and sorceries. So this will stay in unless I start going heavier on the auras. Then this might make its way out because it is specific to instants and sorceries. Unlike a couple of these guys like this one, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. So that works hand in hand. Gutter Snipe is going to be also the same thing with electromagnetic or electrostatic field, where instants and sorceries. So if I don't go heavier, if I go heavier on the auras, these will probably pop out. But the thing that you can see down here, I am lacking creatures. I have 15 because this is going to be more of, we look at the commander. This is a Voltron style deck. So Gutter Snipe, we'll see what happens once we start cutting stuff later. Not today. This is just the brainstorming part. This is the exact same thing here. We're just kind of multiplying the abilities here. So I'll cast a non-creature spell, 1 damage to each opponent. So I like those sweeper effects in this. Olhran Frostfang. Why is this guy in here? You're doing a Voltron type deck. This is really good when you have multiple creatures. But here's the thing with this. This is why I kind of like this in here. Blanka, if he gets, I think it's 3 spells. As long as you've cast 3 or more spells, he gets trampled. So if Olhran is also giving me draws in this, but if he gains the death touch with the trample, all I have to do is 1 damage to that creature. And it doesn't matter how big, if their creature's like a 20/20, mine just needs to deal 1 damage to it and the rest goes through. It will still take the 20 damage or whatever, but the death touch kills it, and then all the rest of that damage goes flying through. So that's kind of why this guy's in here. He might not make the cut because it isn't fitting so well in theme and because I'm lacking creatures, but I wanted that to be in at least one of my starting stuff. Stormkiln, again, probably sitting along the lines of Gutter Snipe. If I'm not, same with this, with Young Pyromancer. If I play too many auras, these won't make the cut, but other things will make the cut. Things will get added. If I'm playing a lot of auras, I'll probably go around the idea of Kaima, where I'm getting more draw spells off of enchantments. So, but there isn't a lot. Remember what I built Kaima. Kaima, red and green don't have, you need green and white to have a lot of that good draw off of auras and enchantments. And just having green as that, there's only 4 or 5 cards that you get draws off of enchantment spells. So that's a little tougher. Torbrand, obviously, it's going to add 2 more. So when this is doing 2 damage to everybody, it's actually doing 4. So yeah, that's a no-brainer to have in there. So those are my untake. Those are the only creatures I have at this point besides the main guy. So now let's get into those enchantments, the auras. Enchantments and auras, because we have this guy that's going to work with sorcery and instant spells. But all right, so you'll recognize some of these from Kaima. But this one gains hexproof, so I like that. That's protection for Blanka, and then can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. So that's really beneficial, because then you're not having chump blocking with a bunch of creatures, and your trample will get through a lot easier. Ancestral Mask is just sick if I'm playing a lot of enchantments, so that's why that's in there. This is game winner on Kaima. That's how I've won the couple games with Kaima, is with this card. Monodorks, at this moment, I don't, because if you look up here, I guess Fairhaven Elf I do have there. So we do have a couple, sorry. So we have Birds of Paradise, Fairhaven Elf. I put in Sakura Tribe Elder, Oracle Moldiah, and Wood Elves as my mana dorks. And then I have a lot of the natural green spells of getting land and stuff. So that's my ramp package right there, Renshai. Okay. So Arcane Bombardment. So if I am playing heavier on the instants and sorceries, this is just a sick card. Because what happens is whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery spell each turn, exile an instant or sorcery card at random from your graveyard. Then copy each card exiled with this. You may cast any number of spells of the copies without paying their mana cost. So what that means, if it's kind of a lot of words. So I cast my instant or sorcery spell. Supposedly there's already 1 or 2 in the graveyard. You exile one of those at random, and then you cast that. And it's basically underneath Arcane. That's how you would kind of see it, because it's exiled at that point. Then you cast another one your next turn, and you exile another card, instant or sorcery, and that goes underneath. And now you cast both of those spells for free. The one thing I can see being a problem is whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery spell, there's exile and instant or sorcery. So yeah, because then your first instant, that'll go into the graveyard. So actually there's no problem. If you keep casting the same, like you cast one and you have one in the graveyard, it takes that. Your next turn you cast another, it takes the one that you just cast, so now you're casting 2. So this just can compound and really do some stuff, because then if they're targeting spells, then you're targeting Blanka each time it does that, and you can just potentially win the game depending on how many times you have this go off. So Aspect of the Mongoose can't be targeted spells or abilities. This also includes you, so that can be a downfall. But when this is put in the graveyard, it goes back to your hand. It's a nice little protection to it, so that's why that's in there. Might get cut, we'll see, because I want to target mine. So actually, this is going to be cut right now. This is my first cut, and I wasn't planning on cutting anything. Yes, Renshai, I see. I know I have Steve in there, but whatever. Bear Umbra. This is pretty sweet in this, because it's kind of a little protection, because you have the totem armor. When it attacks, I'll untap all my land, so that's going to open me up to be able to cast more stuff. So that's why I'm thinking this is going to be a mix of auras and instants and sorceries. Bequeathal's pretty sweet. If your creature is put in the graveyard, you draw 2 cards, so it can be kind of a protection. But at the very least, you're tapping 1, targeting Blanka, 2 damage to everybody. It gains 2/2. Then if somebody's like, well, now I want to kill your commander, hey, at least you're drawing. Oh, but it's going graveyard. Nope, this one's gone too. There you go. We got 2 of them gone. See, this is I gather this is how I first start building decks. I gather as much things that I think can work, and then as I'm going through it, I'm like, whoa, wait, that doesn't make sense. So those 2 the ones that I cut, which I wasn't planning on cutting anything, don't make sense in this. So enchanted creature has tap, deals damage to his power to any target. Oh, that's 5. That is too much, because really I want Blanka to be attacking, so we are going to remove that. So Blanka does not have vigilance, so there's another one gone. Canopy Cover. Can't be blocked except by flying creatures or reach. Can't be targeted spells or abilities your opponents control. Boom, that's good. 2 for that. 1 gives it 1/1 in haste. And target creature... This might get cut because Blanka actually already has haste, which I kind of forgot. So some of these things I put in here are things that give it haste, and I'm like, oh shit, he actually already has it. So 1 for giving it 1/1. I don't think I like this actually, so that one's going to be gone. This one's going to be good. There's a couple of these. Even if I'm going enchant or sorcery and instant heavy, this is going to be in there as well, because Crown of Flames, you tap 1 red, target it, tap another red, return it back to your hand, tap 1 red, target it. So if you have 4, 6 mana out, you're able to do this 3 times. So you're doing 6 damage to everybody, all the opponents, and he's gaining 6/6. So this is just perfect in this deck. Dual casting. And when enchanted creature has tap, copy instant sorcery may choose new targets. I don't like that it's tapping him, but allowing them to do another copy to him. We'll keep it there for now. We're not going to cut at this point. This isn't that bad to cut, but it probably will get cut in the end here. Fire Emancipation, we're going to triple damage every damage we do, so that's amazing. Fiery Mantle, when this goes to the graveyard, it goes back to your hand, so if they kill your creature, this will pop back to your hand, and you can do it again and again and again. Hey, Ramsey, how's it going, buddy? We got another popping back and forth. It's not as good as Crown of Flames. Like I mentioned, Ramsey, you're just jumping in. Time to add Lightning Bolt. Any other suggestions? This is just kind of the brainstorming phase. I'm not going through and doing a lot of cuts in this. I've already made 2 cuts, but I wasn't planning on cutting anything. But if you guys have suggestions or ideas, I am more than open to hear it now. This is more of the gathering information phase. And I'm just going through this. It's only going to be about half hour, 45 minutes. So this is just going to be phase 1. This is like, I would normally be doing this for the next week. And I just figured I'd kind of get some ideas from you guys as well. So cast spells and win. Yep. What about a jackal? Jackal won't be good in this. That doesn't help me at all. All right. Hammer Hand. Let's see. Enters. Target creature can't block this turn. There's that haste thing. So we're going to remove that. Because I forgot when I was gathering stuff that Blanka had haste. Hydra's Growth. This can make it get really big. I dig that. Instill Energy. A 1-drop. Making Blanka have vigilance in a way. That's pretty good, I guess. Keen Sense. When it deals damage to an opponent, you may draw that card. So this is really good in this deck. There's another in here that has a couple of, that have similar effects. But this is, it's not combat damage. It deals damage. So I cast Keen Sense. It's not going to do it there because it's going to, I'm targeting it before it's attached. It does the 2 damage. Now the next spell, let's say I put on Instill Energy. Now Blanka does, and it's not lose 2 life. It deals 2 damage to each opponent. So you're going to draw 1, 2, 3 cards right off of that. Need some trample. Yes, you do need trample, but do you? Because if you cast 3 spells, he gains trample. So that's the other part of it. Has trample as long as you've cast 3 or more spells. So do I need to search for some trample stuff? I don't think so because it kind of gets built in. Okay, so Keen Sense is huge in this deck. This would be like an all-star for this deck. Latulia's Orders. Kid can't even read. I don't have my buttons ready. Where's my kid can't even read? It should be right on this because I'm right there. Whatever. Oh, there. Yep.
One.
Kid can't even read.
2.
So this one's interesting because I can cast it as an instant. When it deals combat damage to defending player, you may have it destroy target artifact that player controls. So it could be a little bit of removal. I think it's too blah, but maybe not. Maybe if this is a good removal to get rid of an artifact, or so we'll keep that there for now. But I don't know if it'll stay in the long run. Mark of Fury, it gains haste. Ooh. At the end of turn, return to your hand. So, okay, that's why. You're tapping the 1. It does the 2 damage. The haste does not matter. It's really just targeting it. I think that's almost too weak, though. Because then you're continuously... But, we'll keep it for now. But doesn't it seem a little weak for this? Because haste does not matter. All right. Mark of Sakiko. 2, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, add that much green to your mana pool. This doesn't cause mana burn, and obviously. Until end of turn, this mana doesn't empty from your mana pool, and as phases end. So this could be really strong in the second main phase, and maybe I go through and he does a crap ton of damage. I gain all that green back and then start casting some more auras or targeting spells, and then I'm just hitting everybody, So maybe I wipe out a player if Blanka got big enough, and now I have 20 floating mana. So this could do some pretty good work. So I think this one will be kind of fun. One with Nature is kind of a fun one too. It's whenever an enchanted creature deals combat damage to a player, I can search for library for a basic land and shuffle. I like that, adding a little bit of kind of ramp to it. I was using this with Kaima, putting on other people's stuff that was attacking. So you can do that. Like if my stuff isn't doing work necessarily, but somebody else is getting through all the time, maybe I'll throw it on there and it'll stop them from attacking. And then you get the land drop off of that. Okay, so what do we got, Ramsey? Okay, hear me out. Rampage of the clans as a finisher or to counter enchantment in the master mode. Okay, let's check it out. Rampage. And am I not spelling it right? I'm looking at how you spelled it. Rampage. Oh, here we go. Just had to wait. Of the clans. Let's check it out. What kind of card is it? I'll have to find it. Is it enchantment? Let's see. R. Not an enchantment. Oh, here we go. Okay. Destroy all artifacts, enchantments for each permanent destroyed this way. It's controller. Yeah, I mean, if I'm, I guess, playing more aura stuff and getting those back, that could maybe stay in there as a little fun thing, I guess. If I'm doing a lot, if I'm doing heavy on the auras, yeah. We'll keep it there, Ramsey. Rancor, obvious reasons. 1, 2+0, and gives it trample, so it gains that. But if it dies, this goes back to my hand, so we can do more of it later. This one, so shiny impetus. Like, I like to use this on other people's stuff, but you can target your own dude, especially if he's a big badass. Give him 2+2. You're most likely attacking anyways, and then when you attack, you get treasure off of it. Sure. That's good. And worst case scenario, put it on somebody else's creature and open them up because they have to attack with it and you're gaining treasure and they're not attacking you. It's good. I have the vows in here as well because of that same reason. 6 cents. This one deals combat damage. You draw a card. So we're not taking advantage of the keen sense. But you know what is? Snake Umbra. So this is obviously better. Keen Sense 1-drop, which is really nice, but Snake Umbra, 1+1, whenever this creature deals damage to an opponent, may draw a card, but it's totem armor, so that's also very nice. So it's a little bit of protection on that as well. Sticky Fingers. I wanted this in my Kaima deck, but it got cut in the end. It just wasn't good enough. In this, though, you're tapping 1. You're targeting Blanka. It gains menace, and then whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. When an enchanted creature dies, you get to draw a card. That's pretty sweet. So there's a lot of benefit to this one. You're doing damage to somebody, combat damage, you're getting treasure, and then if somebody decides to kill it, you can at least get a draw off of it. So it's kind of like the other, what was the other one that I was talking about? Where did I cut that one? The drawing 2 cards? No, I didn't. Where did he go? Which one was that? Was it one with nature? No, maybe I did. Did I cut it? Already forgetting stuff that I've done. Yeah, whatever. Sticky Fingers. Sylvan Library, obvious reason, so that fits in the lines with Sensei's top. Talons of the Wildwood. Gives it trample. That's what you wanted there, Ramsey. But then I can tap 3 and return it to my hand. So that's a lot. But it gives you that option that later in the game I could be like, well, I don't have anything to do. Let's pop this back off. I have all this open mana. Let's put it back on, pop it off, put it on. You know, that could do some work late in the game or when you're in a pinch. Unquenchable Fury. This one was good in Kaima as well. Enchanted creature has whenever this creature attacks, it deals X damage to a defending player where X is the number of cards in their hand. So, and then when it's put in the graveyard from battlefield, return it to your hand. So this pops back to your hand without tapping anything, but you can do a lot of damage to somebody potentially before your Blanka goes through by how many cards they have in their hand. The vows, obviously put on yours, or if you're in a pinch, put it on theirs, opens them up. And then the last one is Whip Silk. This is the same as our Crown of Flames. These two are just all-stars with this. You're tapping 1 green, put it on him, tap a green again, pop it to your hand, green, 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 and potentially doing a lot of damage. So, to not repeat Kaima, I don't, like, now that I'm kind of going through all this, I think I will probably cut this down to maybe under 10. So I'll probably pick 10 of these out of here and drop that down. Obviously, Sylvan Library is not in this, and neither is Fiery Emancipation. Those are kind of two different ideas. That's not part of the auras. But of auras, I might just have 10. And I think I might do the instant and sorcery route instead, just to have something that's a little different. I know that Kaima was put in on other people's, but I'm seeing similar cards. So I think I'll just pick out the best stuff that I like in here, which I think is going to be rather easy. It's going to be a lot of the ones that I can pop back and forth. Obviously, Keen Sense, Snake Umbra for drawing. Sixth Sense, these are a lot of my draw package stuff. So I think I can make quite a few cuts here. Tranquility. I think you suggested that when I built Kaima there, Renshai Tranquility. All right, so let's get into so look at this. Untagged instance and 14 sorceries. So, okay, let's hit these instants up. And we're at 25 minutes. So, yeah, we're going to get through this at perfect timing, between 30 and 45 minutes. And we'll do the drawing for Stump the Smith Savant and then call it a night. And we got a big week this week, by the way, guys. Podcast tomorrow, live podcast. Wednesday, we're going to be doing the box opening for patrons. So battle box giveaway, which Laurie and I will still be drinking with that. And then Friday, we're going to try to fit in a Commander game with the Discord. So it's a busy week. So let's get to it. That's why I'm not going to kind of do a long one here. So, and also it's still the beginning of me gathering stuff. All right, so let's get to our instance here. So target creature gains haste until end of turn, draw a card. The draw card's nice. I don't like the haste part. 2 to draw a card and then do 2 damage to everybody and get 2+2. I guess that's okay. If we're sticking that route, we'll just keep it there for now. It's not an easy cut right off the bat. Fire breathing kind of aura is a monosync. No. I just want cheap stuff and stuff that's going to protect. So you're going to see here in a second, I have a lot of protection stuff because I'm not using any of the Swiftfoot boots and lightning greaves there, Ted. So you'll see. I'm not going to do fire breathing stuff because really what I'm wanting to do is do enough damage, surround damage by casting spells that by the time I'm done casting my spells, that one player's like close to dead or dead, and I'm able to go at another player and kill them with Blanka. So I think that's the route I want to go. We'll see. Maybe even Blasphemous Act might not be a bad thing in this deck because it's doing 10 damage, and I think I could easily get Blanka over 10. He's already a 4/4, a 5/5. So once I cast 3 spells, 2, 4, 6, he's an 11/11. So Blasphemous Act kills everything but Blanka. So Blasphemous might actually, let's do that. I always Blasphemous Act. How do you spell blasphemous? I always mess that one up. It's not blast, it's blast. Is it PH? Yeah, that's where it is. I always do blast. Blasphemous. So, it's 13 damage. I was thinking it was 10 because I don't use this one that much. 13. So that means I hit 2, 4, 6, 8. Gets them to 13. I'd need to cast 5 spells in order. Now, that's a little too much. That's a little too much. We're going to move that. Okay, back to it. Okay, so this one's kind of fun. I can remove a red card from my hand. A red card with converted mana cost X rather than pay its mana cost. So this one, I can just pay its total mana cost. So I could just have a red card in my hand, and it's like a free spell. Targeting him, he gets X+0 and dealing damage all around. I think that's pretty decent. So this one's a hexproof, 2+2 for 1. That's decent. I mean, that's good. That's what I want. Target creatures X+X, greatest mana among permanents you control. So that could be huge. Just tapping 2 and what would he be? So at the very least, he gets 5+5, so he's a 10/10. 2 for 5+5. I think that's pretty sweet. So as instant speed, gains trample until the turn, draw a card. I like the 1 draw card better than the 2 and draw card. Crimson Wisp, draw a card. This is the haste. So again, maybe we're getting rid of this guy. Yes, we are. Deflecting Swat. Love it. That's one of the protection things. I didn't put Tibalt's Trickery in here, but I always put Deflecting Swat in. Expedite. That's better. gains haste and draw a card. So you're tapping 1 to draw a card, give it haste, do damage, gets +2/+2. I like it. 2 to draw a card, it gains trample, and it gains 1+L for each card you've drawn this turn. So this could be good if I've cast something else, let's see this guy down here. Like if I did a Rishkar's expertise and draw a shit ton of cards, and then he gets that much bigger, and he already has the trample. I like that. Force of Vigor, I just added in as some removal. See, I haven't separated all this stuff yet. So Groundswell, 2/2 for 1. And then if a land entered, it gets 4/4. I don't know if I like that one as much. Remove that. Hapatra's Mass. So this is giving the hexproof. I don't really worry about the -1/-1 counters. Heroic Intervention, yeah, of course. Hunter's Insight. So that's the other thing I was thinking, is adding some fighting stuff in here. So choose target creature you control. Whenever that creature deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker this turn. Oh, no, this is the draw card. Sorry. This is the deals combat damage. So this is a 1. Once they're like, all right, I'll let it go through. Then you're like, boop. All right, so 2 damage to all of you. And then also, I'm going to draw as many cards as he's doing combat damage to you. So this could be pretty sick because he's going to get 2/2. If it goes through, you're drawing 7 cards. Because just think, if this is the only thing that goes through, he's a 5/5. You're targeting it. It gets 2/2, so you're actually drawing 7 right there if it doesn't block. Even if it is blocked with if you get the trample through. This doesn't give the trample, but you get what I'm saying. So this one, Inscription of Abundance. So 2, you can choose any number of targets instead. So, but the only problem with this is these aren't separate spells, I believe, right? Kicker doesn't do that, because I was hoping that it would be a separate spell and you whatever. But being able to give your creature 2 counter, give Blanka 2 counters, Grace Power. If I'm able to kick it and do that multiple times, I could gain the life. It says you can choose any number instead. That spell is kick, choose any number instead. So you can't choose the same thing more than once. But this also adds that fight in it. So at the very least, I could just go tap 2. He fights something else, so I'm going to deal 7 damage to something. You know, if this is the only thing that you cast. So I think this one could actually be decent in this. Invigorate. If you have a forest, again, you can just if you have a forest, rather than play this spell, you may pay 3 life. That's easy, and that gets 4/4. I like that better than the other one, where I'm having to pay 1. I just have an opponent gain 3 life, and then it gets 4/4. Well, they're really losing 2 life, so they're really only gaining 1. And then Blanka's that much bigger. It's gaining 6/6 total when this is cast. So this is going to be probably for sure in there. Target creature you control fights target creature you don't control, and it can be a mana. I like using things like that in this, or in decks lately. All the DFCs, the flip cards that are lands. I love that idea because it adds for less mana screw. Magnetic Theft. Attach target equipment to target creature. So the reason I have this in here is because I was thinking, if others have their Swiftfoot boots, their whatever, Lightning Greaves, I could go, they're targeting mine, and I go, actually, I'm going to take that equipment. I'm targeting my creature. Target equipment, attach target equipment to target creature. So I'm also targeting my creature. So I go, target that equipment, target my creature. Oh, everybody take 2 damage. He gets 2/2 bigger, and I'm protecting it as well. I think this one could be a lot of fun to use for a surprise protection spell. All right, Mortals Resolve, 1/1 and indestructible. So it's kind of adding that hexproof part to it. I like this because I don't have to actually spend mana, 2 life, and I just attach it. This is easy. That's what I want to do in this deck. A lot of as cheap as possible to target Blanka as much as possible. Psychotic Fury, target multi-creature gets double strike. That can be sick with Blanka, and I'm drawing a card. So that's so much better than just haste and drawing a card. This is actually doing some work here. Ram Through. So this is solid with the trample stuff, or if it doesn't have trample, because, or wait. If the creature target creature control deals damage equal to its power, so it's fighting something, but it's not. because it's not getting hit back. And then the excess damage, if the creature you control has trample. So if I get him to have trample, if this is the third spell or more, the excess damage will go to the controller. So that's pretty sweet. I like that. What Zero said there, Ramsey was suggesting this for the... Now, if I don't go the aura heavy, this actually probably doesn't make sense in here. Ranger's Guile. For 1, giving it hexproof. Yep, like it. Reckless Rage. So 1, doing 4 damage to target creature. That could kill a lot of things. And then 2 damage to my own. So I'm targeting him. Yeah, but he's not going to die. 2 damage to him. And then again, I'm doing damage to every player. So for 1, that's pretty good. I think that kind of could be considered a kill spell in a way, because 4 damage is quite a bit. Might not stay in, but I like the idea of it. All right, maybe I'm late to the party, but have you thought about double cast? I did see double cast. Hang on. Double cast, double cast, double cast. And that is an enchantment, isn't it? I believe that is, if I remember right. Or maybe it's, or is it? No, where's double cast? CD, it's not an instant. Oh, here we go. Copy that spell. You may choose new targets. Yeah. When you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn. Yeah, if I am going heavy, I'll keep this here. If I am going heavy on these, that might be decent. But it is 2 to do that. Whenever you cast your next instance. So I'd like this one to be targeting my creature. You may choose new targets for the copy. So this is just copying. It'd be like twin cast, and there's a bunch of them that do that. I don't know if I want to do that or not. I'll keep it there for the reminder, but I don't know if I'm going to do that necessarily or not. Because I do like the ones where you're able to do it to other people as well, that you can copy their stuff. Having that option for 1 more always seems nice. Return of the Wild Speaker. So let's make sure. I put this in there because I have this for Kaima as well. Draw cards equal to the greatest power among non-human creatures you control. Non-human. Okay, so I'm not targeting, so I'm not going to be able to get the bonus there, but Blanka is... Oh, it's a human. Oop. That's gone. See? This is why we go through this. Where are you? Draw cards equal to the greatest power among non-humans. You are gone because he is a human. Shatter Shot. So this could be interesting. If I've cast a whole bunch of spells and they get the storm stuff, I can target Blanka with that 1 damage. It's not going to kill Blanka because every time Blanka gets targeted, he's gaining 2+2. So 1 damage to him, 2 damage to everybody else. He gets 2+2. 1 damage to him, 2 damage to everybody else, 2+2. So this could be pretty sick. There's a couple storm cards I have in here. I'm not doing breaking stuff. I'm not doing infinite anything with those. It's just another way to just imagine you already cast 3 spells that turn. You cast this 4th one, and so now you're targeting Blanka 4 more times. So you got 3 spells, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 damage with this. So these could be game winners in a way. Sheltering Word gains hexproof until end of turn. You may gain life to that creature's toughness. So that's a big one right there for gaining life. That's probably going to definitely stay. Silk Guard. I love this card with Kaima. I think it's a good card in general. We like this as one of our top 10s. I don't even have to put a 1/1 counter on it, but I can, and that's modifying him. Most likely you'll have an aura on him already, but then he'll gain hexproof. So I could just tap 1 and he's gaining hexproof if he already has an aura on him. Or I tap 2 and put whatever, put counters on stuff and give my stuff hexproof, which protects my stuff. Snake Skin Veil, again, hexproof, 1+1 counter. That's my protection stuff. Soulfire. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to any target. So again, this one's better than the other one that I had before and I got rid of. This comes in and I target Blanka. 2 damage to everybody. And then he gains 2+2. Now he's bigger, and now I'm doing damage to everybody. Target creature you control deals damage equal to his power. I'm targeting. I think that would happen that way, but maybe not. It might be before he gets the 2+2. Target creature. I think that's the order of how it would resolve. I'm not positive in that. I will check on that, though. And then Tameo Safekeeping. I like this. It gains target permanent you control is perfect for a Voltron deck because you're giving your guy hexproof and indestructible. So it's heroic intervention, but smaller, just in smaller scale on just one thing because it is a permanent. So this is awesome for this deck because it's Voltron. Team or Battle Rage. Double Strike is always nice. And then also gains that if you control a creature or gains Trample, which it already has because he's already over 4. So it's going to gain Double Strike and Trample. It's just going to be, this is a sick card to have in there. Titan Strength, 3+1 until end of turn, and Scry for 1. That's pretty decent. I like that one. This one could be really sick. And I love all this stuff at instant speed. Veil of Summer. So that was the countering and destroying a black permanent and all that, right? Isn't that what that one is? Veil of Summer. I don't play Veil of Summer, and I just spelled it wrong. It's VEI. Right? Veil of Summer. Draw a card. If an opponent casts a blue or black spell, spells you control can't be countered this turn. Your permanents you control gain hexproof from blue and from black. I guess that could be. It won't target, but I should be able to draw a card if somebody's played a blue or black spell. Did I throw Blossom Defense? I didn't. No, it's right here. Did you throw Blossoming Defense in the hexproof pile? Yeah, it's right over here. So Unleash Fury could be a game winner too, where you're attacking somebody and they don't block or whatever, and then you double the power. That could kill somebody. Vines of the Vastwood. Target creature can't be the target of spells or opponents or whatever control. It was kicked. So you tap 2 protection and 4+4. Yep, that's pretty decent. Target creature becomes green, 1+0 until end of turn, draw a card. It's a 1-drop, draw a card and do the damage, so that's why that stayed there. Might not make the long run, but it's there in the beginning. Until end of turn, up to 2 target creatures you control each gain. Whenever this creature deals damage to a player, draw a card. It's good. You cast it once the blocks are, declared, and then you draw more cards and do more damage. So that's why that works there. We want to draw some cards because I'm not if I'm doing this route, I don't have a lot of things that I'm like every time you cast an instant or a sorcery, draw a card. There isn't a lot of those for green and red that I could think of off the top of my head. If you guys can think of some, let me know. But I couldn't think of a lot of them, so I'm being very dependent on cards like this, and other things where it's when they deal damage, drawing cards and stuff. So, and then the last instant, target creature is indestructible this turn for 1 drop. So we have a lot of protection. We're at 43 minutes. Oh, good. We're right at the sorceries. So we're going to finish this perfect timing here, guys. So a lot of protection in here. Like I said, beginning stages, if you guys have suggestions, I do want to hear them. Put them in if you're not live right now chatting, put it in the comments. If you guys hear live, definitely write it up here because I will look at everything. And that's what I said. This is the brainstorming phase. All right, let's get into the sorceries. And then I don't have my lands up and everything. So I have 106 cards before land and before some of my staple stuff that I still got to put in. And your guys' suggestions. I will also have that as well. So, like I said, I will add in everything you guys say and just kind of go through it the next time I do this. I just want to get the ball rolling on this deck because I really am excited about building this one. All right, so the big guys, Chandra's Ignition. So you're going to cast this. You're going to deal 2 damage to everybody at first just by casting this. And then you're going to do more damage depending on how big Blanka is and all that. Vines of the Vastwood was up here. Right there, Mad Dad. Vines of the Vastwood. Is that what you're asking if to add in there? But yeah, that's there. It seems like a decent card there. Domri's Ambush. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature controlled, and that creature deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker you don't control. So it's not a fight. It's just doing the damage. So I'm not losing my Blanka. I can go after things that are the same power, toughness, and all that. Double cast. We saw that from a suggestion from you guys. That could be interesting, doubling up some of this stuff here. But I think where this could be tricky is if I'm doing a lot of protection stuff, because then it's like, oh, it's double indestructible, but it's also targeting it again, so that's kind of nice. Grape Shot, Storm effect on that, so we're doing a similar thing to our other Storm card, but in a sorcery form, and then you're able to potentially kill somebody with that. Oh, watch it on your phone, so the cards are really tiny. Okay, got you, buddy. Okay, next one is Ground Rift, another Storm card. Target creature without flying can't block this turn. So I could really, what this is I'm tapping one. Oh, I'm going to target. I'm not blocking with it, so it doesn't matter, but I am going to pump it up by targeting it that many times. So we have 3 total Storm cards in here, and I think that's all there really is that are usable in green and red. And so I may go heavier on the Storm effect with this, because that'd be a good way to do a lot of damage without anybody being able to do much, which will be sweet. This might be a fast deck. The thing, though, is he's 5 to come out. So you got to do a lot of ramp stuff. So there's going to be a lot of this stuff. Maybe even putting in some Llanowar Elves or something like that, so I have other blockers in the early game. But yeah. Okay, so those are the rest of the Storm cards. Then we have Hunter's Prowess. Gains 3/3 whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player. Draw that many cards. That's pretty sweet, because it gets 3/3 in trample. This will probably definitely, but it's only till end of turn because it's a sorcery. But then they'll see it coming too, so that's the other part. Classic. I know I thought about Giant Growth, but I was like, but you know what? I will just put it in just to have it there. Giant Growth. Come on. You're right, Ted. We got to get him in there. All right. Giant Growth is in there now, because it does give it 3/3 for a 1-drop and trample. So if I'm not able to cast my 3 spells, at least he's getting the trample from that, because he's a 10/10. If I just cast that one spell, excuse me, Giant Growth. Where's my G's? There. I'm not used to seeing that art. If I don't cast, oh no, it doesn't gain the trample. See, that's how long I haven't cast Giant Growth. I thought it gave the trample, but we'll keep it there for now. It still gains 3/3 and 2/2, so it's a 10/10 at that point. All right. Insult to Injury. Damage can't be prevented this turn. If a source you control will deal damage this turn, it deals double that damage instead. So start it with your turn with this, and then start targeting Blanka, and then you're doubling that damage. So this is a pretty sick card in this deck. Prey Upon. Target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. So there goes that. It kind of added that little splash of fighting in there. Galvanic Relay. Maybe playable Storm card. Yeah, let me check that out. Galvanic Relay. Where are you? Popped into Sorceries. Exile the top card of your library during your next turn. You may play that. No, it won't, because I want the Storm to target a creature. So that's the big thing about this is Grape Shot is going to target Blanka. Even though it's doing a damage to Blanka, Blanka's getting 2/2 and doing 2 damage to everybody. And then if it's Storm that many times, it's 2/2, 2/2, 2/2, 2 damage, 2 damage, 2 damage. This, yes, during your next turn, you may play that card. Yeah, I'd be able to potentially play a bunch of cards, I guess, but it's not going with the Blanka effect. So I don't want that one necessarily. But thank you for the suggestion, because that is good. There wasn't a lot of Storm stuff on there, so that's why I only have 3 or 4 total. If I fight Trample, no, Trample does not go through unless, what's the card that says that it does? There's the one that said, the one that I showed earlier with the instance. Where were you? It was a newer card. Oh, it's this one. Nope. Nope. That's not it. And that's not it. That's not it. That one. Ram through does. So target creature you control deals damage equal to its power target creature you don't control. If the creature you control has trample, so it has to have trample, excess damage is to that creature's control instead. But yeah, when you fight, it doesn't trample through. It's just taking the damage. Mine does damage. Yours does damage. Oh, you can see Primal Might actually have 2 in there. So yeah, they don't actually trample. It doesn't go through there. Primal Might though. So I could just tap 1 for this. Target creature you control gets X+X until end of turn. Then it fights up to 1 target creature. So I don't even have to give the X, but I can, and it could be really good by doing that. So this is actually a pretty good one to have in here. Rishkar is expertise, so I'm going to draw cards equal to Gray's power among creatures you control. I'm not targeting him, but I am drawing, and hopefully he has a lot of power. Round 2, which is actually Seize the Day. This is the art. For some reason it pulled up. But you're targeting the creature, untap target creature, so Blanka does its effect. After this main phase, there is an additional combat phase followed by an additional main phase. So you get a second attack, and then you can flash back and do it again. So this could do some work and maybe win you the game, actually. If you have players down enough, or Blanka's big enough, or already has protection and all that stuff, this could do some work right here. Oh yeah, no, definitely. I dig you guys suggesting cards. I might do this more often where it's a brainstorm instead of my round. Searching for the spotlight might be really just the first episode will always be just kind of brainstorming, getting your guys' ideas as well. That might help a lot because getting ideas from others, I get a lot of good card suggestions that I end up using, end up being workhorses in my decks. All right, and the last couple cards here, Smell Fear. 2 for proliferate, so you can choose any number of permanents, give them more counters. But then it's the fighting effect, so I was continuing with the fighting stuff. Soul's Magistry. No, it's not a Majesty. Majesty? Man. Where is it?
One. Kid can't even read.
2.
Wow, my mic just went right into my chin. So, same thing as Rishkar's. It's 1 less. Rishkar's, you get to cast something for free afterwards for 5 or less. This is your drawing cards equal to the number of power of target creatures you control. So this is more draw, and at the very least, power of target creature. So this is targeting. Rishkar's is not. So the very least, this card is drawing you 7 if you're targeting Blanka, because he's going to get the 2+2. I think that's how it would order. Draw cards equal to the number of target creature control. It might not see it before. And that's one thing I am going to check between now and the next video. And the last one is Verdant Confluence. Choose 3. You may choose the same mode more than once. So you can put 2 counters on target creature. Return target permanent card from your graveyard. So this is a little recursion. Search your library for a basic land. Put it on the battlefield tapped. And then shuffle your library. So most likely I'm doing the 6. I am going to put the 2 counters on Blanka. I don't think if I choose those modes, because it's still the same spell, so it won't target. If it said spell or ability, I think, or effect or whatever, then I would get it. But in this case, I would only be able to do the 2 counters. And then if I did it again, he wouldn't do 2 damage again. But returning something from my graveyard and searching for land and putting it in the battlefield tap, it seems pretty good. It's 6, so it might be a little too much, but I wanted to have that in here for the brainstorm and stuff. So, all right, so that is Blanka in a nutshell. After kind of going through it with you guys, I think my initial take is pretty good, where I want to go about 10 of my auras, and then everything else is going to be instant heavy, and then a little bit of some sorceries, some good sorceries in there to take advantage of killing people with it. So I think it's going to be pretty sweet. Am I going to put any artifacts? I might do that with the ramp package here, but I might not, because I'm not playing a lot of creatures. So I may get more mana dorks for my blocking for Blanka, just so the early game I don't get just killed by everybody. So we'll see. This was the beginning stuff. Normally, then I kind of go through, once I have the idea down, then I go through and I find my normal staples that I like to throw in decks. And I'll put those in, and we'll see where that shakes out. I already kind of started doing that with Sensei's, Soul Ring, Arcane. Those are the ones I always hit right away. I'm not sure if I'll have a lot more artifacts in here or not, because I don't want any equipment, because it does not do the effects that I want. By attaching to him, it is not affecting doing 2 damage and stuff. So I want to do it with this stuff. I do want to find more draw off of casting things. So if you guys have any ideas, not with necessarily the auras, but more of instants and sorceries, please share those, put in the comments, or just shoot me a message or whatever, direct message. What do we got here? So throw in the ring, live wire lash. I think I looked at that one too. Live wire. Let me check it out. And I think that's is that an aura? LLL. No, it is not. Is it a sorcery? Where's Livewire? Why am I having trouble finding it? LM, so it's not an instant. I thought it was an aura. Livewire Lash. Yeah, I got Gutter Snipe. Yep, I got Gutter Snipe. Yep. Yeah, that's a good ad. Oh, there we go. It's an equipment. That's why I'm not finding it. Whenever the creature becomes a target spell, this turn. Oh, I can see that. Equipped creature gets 2+0 and has whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell, this creature deals 2 damage to any target. I could dig that. That's a good one to throw in there, Mad Dad. I can dig putting this equipment in there because of targeting him. So yeah. I'll put that there. Yeah, Mark, actually what I did is I'm basically done at this point because this was more of the brainstorming. So I showed all the auras that I had. This is very similar to my Kaima deck. I think after going through it, I'm cutting down to 10 auras, 10 of the good auras. And then I went more so on the heavy on the instants and a little bit of the sorceries. So I think this is the route I'm going to be going. And like I was saying just a little bit ago, I do want some suggestions. If anybody has any ideas of drawing off of instants being cast or something like that, or sorceries. I don't think there's a lot of that. I kind of already did a little quick search on that. And so that's why I used a lot of these that have draw card when you're casting them. So I'm replacing their effects and all that. I probably am going to have to do some shuffle effects of my graveyard, because there is a lot of stuff that if I go the instant sorcery route, I'm going to have a lot in the graveyard. So I'm going to want to bring, bring those back. So, all right. Okay, so I got to cut it off here because, like I said, we got a lot going on this week. I just wanted to kind of brainstorm with you guys and get suggestions now and later. So if you're watching this later and you have ideas, please put it in the comments because I will check that out and try to add those in if I can. The real cutting this, starting the deck will probably start in a week or so. Still getting over summer. We got a lot of vacation stuff we've been going on. I just was gone this weekend, going to be gone again here not this next week, the following week. So that's why I wanted to get this deck started, because there's so much dang vacation. But then we'll back on a normal schedule once we get into September. Then we'll get back in the groove of things. But like I said, this week, podcast tomorrow live, 9 o'clock. Wednesday, battle boxes with the patron stuff or giveaway. But we're still drinking with those. The battle box, normal, drinking a beer and all that. And a shot for the loser box. And then Friday, Discord games. So we're going to play some Commander, hopefully on Friday. At this point, it is still happening, but there's some kinks we got to work out and make sure everything's going to work out fine. But I think at this point, we're going to do Discord game on Friday. So, all right, here's the drawing for Stump the Smith Savant for tomorrow night to win 2 cards. I don't know. Haven't picked out our second card yet, but there's 2 cards on the line. So, and you just gave me the suggestion, you bastard. I got to really mix up because I was mixing, but it's Spooge Wizard, which is SW Wizard, part of the Discord. So that is, and I have a ton in here. I just didn't mix. I mixed it. You saw me mixing it, and I got to get one of those ball thingies. But all right, so SW Wizard, Spooge Wizard, you're going to try to stump Lowry tomorrow. Thank you guys all for stopping in. Like I said, any of the suggestions and all that stuff, please put it in the comments or shoot me a direct message if you're part of the Discord with suggestions. So thanks again, guys. You guys have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Saga.